Coming up on this week's edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
We'll introduce you to some cattle operations that have made stewardship and conservation a priority as we highlight winners of the Environmental Stewardship Award. We'll also examine why this program is so important to the future of the beef industry.
And now, NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
Hello and welcome to a special edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen. I'm Kevin Oxner. Thanks for joining us. For more than 3 decades, the Environmental Stewardship Award Program, also known as ESAP, has recognized the nation's best operations for their outstanding stewardship practices and conservation achievements. Today, we're introducing you to a few of the regional winners for 2024 and taking a closer look at their operations. These regional and national winners are honored for their commitment to protecting the environment and improving fish and wildlife habitats while operating profitable cattle businesses. Now, generous support from sponsors has been one key to the success and longevity of the Environmental Stewardship Award Program. Another has been the commitment of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. And joining us now is a longtime NCBA volunteer leader from Idaho. Kim, let's start by just talking about why is the Environmental Stewardship Award Program so important to our industry?
I think it's really important that, especially in this day and age, when there's a lot of conversation about how the cattle industry is environmentally sustainable, that we recognize the good work that our cattle farmers and ranchers are already doing out there across the country. And our ESAP program is one way of doing that.
And what I'm always admire is that this is not something we've just been doing the last couple of years. This is over 30 years, 34 years. So we've been celebrating and recognizing these accomplishments for some time. And as we develop stories on these national and regional winners, it really helps our efforts in Washington, D.C., doesn't it?
Absolutely. When we go into those congressional offices or agency offices, they really want to hear those on-the-ground stories.
Yeah.
And for us to be able to share success stories with them, it goes a long way in carrying our message forward with those decision makers.
I'm sure you're as impressed as I am about some of the practices that folks are implementing their farms and ranches. Tell me some of your thoughts as you see some of these very progressive producers and what they're doing.
It is so inspirational to look through all of those regional award winners and seeing what they're doing in their part of the country to conserve natural resources, to provide wildlife habitat. It's really inspiring. It makes me go back home and look at my own place and see what maybe I could do a little differently.
And it really is different, isn't it? It's very different for folks that are ranching in Virginia versus Idaho. Different challenges, but different opportunities, right?
Definitely. It's exciting. I encourage people to go ahead and consider applying
Yes.
and being involved. Reach out to their state affiliate. Take the time to fill out the application and let us recognize you for the good work that you're doing.
Thank you so much for coming today and for all you do to promote programs like the Environmental Stewardship Award Program.
Thanks, Kevin.
Now, if you'd like to find out more about the Environmental Stewardship Award winners, see photos and videos, or even learn how to nominate someone for the award, just visit the website environmentalstewardship.org. NCBA represents cattle farmers and ranchers in 7 different regions around the country. And accordingly, there's one winner of the Environmental Stewardship Award from each of those 7 regions. So now, let's head to my home state of Colorado and meet the Region 5 winner.
Healthy rangelands are important for the productivity of our ranch. So we got to do good. We wouldn't be in business if we didn't. Hi, I'm Mark LeValley. My family owns LeValley Ranch in Hotchkiss, Colorado. My brother and I are the 4th generation here, and we also have the 5th generation on the ranch.
LeValley Ranch is one of 7 ranches that own the USDA packing plant called Homestead Meats. And that includes 2 processing facilities and 1 retail store. And this processing facility not only provides a local food source for individuals, but literally helps 73 other families direct market to their customers.
We're able to connect directly with consumers from pasture to plate through our retail store. So they know what they're getting and they know where their beef is raised because it's raised locally and they enjoy that.
We rely on about 10 inches of moisture a year, and so it's a big challenge. So we always err on that side of it when we're managing the grass. Let's say, we may not gain more rain, we better figure out how we're going to do it.
Rotational grazing is bringing your livestock into an area, really monitoring it for the range's health, and then moving off before you damage the ground.
Our goal is always to allow that plant some time to grow before we graze it, or grow after we graze it while there's moisture. And so that's the advantage of having that rotation. We have noticed over the years we have significantly reduced the amount of bare ground. When you significantly reduce the amount of bare ground, then that captures every raindrop and helps the soil absorb that moisture and allow for that root mass to expand.
By us grazing, we take that grass to a certain level, and then it has vigor to grow back. And we've noticed that. Places where water used to run to ponds, we've done a better job of managing the grass, and now the water doesn't run at all because it's going in the ground. And also, the elk and deer will move and they'll follow cows around, and they like that regrowth. And it just makes it better for everybody.
Stewardship means everything. It's been ingrained from my parents into me. They've really taken the time to not only explain things and show me things, but just as I've watched them over the years, how seriously they take their care of the land and their care of the livestock. It's their lifestyle, not just a hobby.
Stewardship to me is an incredible understanding of a landscape, and to watch the fluctuations of a landscape over the years and to use that information in a way that increases the resiliency of the landscape, and there is nothing more satisfying than that.
Some management decisions are for that year, but most of the time we're thinking, okay, what's going to last another 50 years? But if you manage it right, everything flourishes, and it's going to be here for the next generation.
We're not done talking about the 2024 ESAP regional winners. When we come back, we'll show you the great work being done at 2 more award-winning operations.
Cattle producers across the country work hard to care for their animals and their land. The USDA's Natural Resources Conservation Service is there to help. Find out how you can work with NRCS to develop a conservation plan for your operation. Find possible funding resources for implementing conservation practices, or get free expert advice on ways to improve your farm or ranch. Visit the website nrcs.usda.gov today.
Mark your calendar for an important event, the Cattle Industry Summer Business Meeting. Cattlemen and women from across the country will gather to set policy priorities, discuss critical issues, and get a first look at the beef industry long-range plan. Don't miss this opportunity to collaborate with your fellow industry leaders to help shape the future of the beef cattle industry. The Cattle Industry Summer Business Meeting, July 7th to the 9th in San Diego. Register now at ncba.org.
Every day, cattlemen and women do all they can to provide the best possible care for their land and their animals. They do so because they're committed to protecting and improving their natural resources, while also leaving a strong legacy for the next generation. Today, we're highlighting some of the 2024 regional winners of the Environmental Stewardship Award. Let's take you to Nevada to meet another winner.
All these lands were designed to be grazed and to stimulate the growth of that. If you totally removed cows, it just chokes itself out, and it's not a very healthy environment. Hi, I'm I'm Mackenzie Molesby of Cottonwood Ranch, located up in the northeastern corner of Nevada. I'm the 5th generation to live here, and my kids represent the 6th generation here at the ranch. I really cherish the fact that we're 6 generations, and if we can keep it in the family, it would be really neat.
My daughter Mackenzie and her husband Jason, they have the majority of the cattle on the place, and they manage the ranch. And Mackenzie and Jason are going to be better ranchers than I am. They're just going to take it to another level.
In order to raise good cows, you got to manage the land. But moisture is kind of the key to everything. I mean, you have to have the ground able to take that rain when you do get it. And if you are taking everything off and grazing everything off, we have little ability to capture what we're receiving and to grow some feed.
Instead of having these lands be run down by the animals, we can actually rehabilitate these lands with livestock, managed properly. It's basically higher numbers, shorter duration, with a long rest in between. In our instance, the rest is a year. The places that have had grazing and rest incorporated together, it's healthier. And if you can get ground cover and good healthy soils that are porous, when that rain does come, it soaks it up and goes into the soil.
Instead of just going out and using the same ground and hitting those plants over and over again, it's not uncommon for us to be able to almost put 600 days of rest into the system, and that's made a big difference. You just come back and you can't believe what's happening.
When you rest a pasture, you allow recovery of the roots on the ground and the vegetation on top, and it's just part of the health of the grass is to make sure you give it a full life cycle so it can build its reserves back up and be more resilient going into it the next year. We have been committed to environmental stewardship for decades, and everything we do is thinking about, well, how is it going to be for the next generation? So it's really rewarding to be on the ground and to see good things happening with cows.
You hope that what you're putting in is going to outlast you by far, but from where this place started originally, it's come a long way. It's been a long process, of everybody just trying to incrementally do something a little bit better than last time. And I don't think that's doing anything special at all. I think that's just what ranchers do. You're in it for the long haul, and you're looking for ways to make things better.
I feel proud of what we've been able to accomplish. We have been blessed to be caretakers of this land. It's deeper than just a business. The land, it just gets in your soul.
We've got one more ESAP regional winner to show you. We'll introduce you to that operation when we return. Stay with us.
You always know where this one is. But what about this one? Or this one? Imagine knowing your machines the way you know your cattle, where they are and what they need. Data like that can make a difference. You can make better decisions for more efficiency, consistency, productivity. That's the power of technology. Get started with Operations Center today.
Are you concerned about the impact government policies could have on your cattle business? One way to make your voice heard in Washington is by joining NCBA. When you join, you'll be part of the nation's oldest and largest national cattle industry organization that has a professional team working in Washington, D.C. on issues that matter to cattle-producing families nationwide. Don't stay on the sidelines. Make your voice heard by joining NCBA today at the website ncba.org.
You've already seen a couple of great stories about families who make their living on the land and their outstanding conservation efforts as we honor the 2024 Environmental Stewardship Award winners. Now, let's check out one more great operation, this time in Kansas.
We are stewards of this. We've been entrusted with it. We want to make sure that what you see around here continues on. We want to improve it. And what we do every day, in some way, shape, or form, is in service to that mission. My name's Barb Downey. Together with my husband, Joe Carpenter, we operate Downey Ranch, Inc. It's a family-owned ranch run by myself, my husband, and our 2 daughters. My father and I started Downey Ranch, and over the years we're able to afford to add more ground to it till you see what we have here today, which is about 6,000 acres of almost all native tall grass prairie.
We are in the heart of the Flint Hills. It's the last original tall grass prairie left in North America, and we are fortunate to be able to still have this remaining. The biggest challenge we have from an environmental standpoint is woody encroachment.
So cedar trees, they use a lot of water. If you start with one, next thing you know you've got 20, and then pretty soon you have just a pasture of cedar trees with no water and no grass.
To manage against woody encroachment, it takes a lot of different things. We use a lot of prescribed fire. That's nature's way of doing it. Our grazing affects it a great deal, so we try to keep the grass in a healthy state. The basic premise that we have is that we will not be on a pasture longer than about 5 days. One of the things we're doing now is some ear tags that will track on a lifetime basis. They have a solar panel and report into a computer program so we can look at a map and see exactly where these animals have been.
The technology is in the early stages yet, but man, I have high hopes that it will make what we're doing out here easier, more productive, all because we're doing a better management job on their grazing behavior.
So we use bale rotational grazing in the winters. It saves us gas, it saves us diesel, it saves us time in moving those bales to another location only to be moved back to that location later in the winter.
After a bale grazing season, you really see what you've done on the land.
The results that we've experienced with bale grazing have been even better than we could have anticipated. It's been super productive for us, it's been super productive for our land, and it's saved us a lot of money. If our grasslands and our cattle and our ranch are thriving, our family thrives. And that's the foundation upon which everything we've built is laid.
I hope Downey Ranch continues forever. I think we have a really good thing going, and I can only expect that it's going to get better over time.
One thing to know about my family's operation is while they're always trying new things, they're always going to be doing the right thing. Everything is done thinking about the future instead of the short term.
This is our passion. We enjoy seeing it look as it should, as it has for 10,000 years, and being a part of the chain that has kept it looking like that.
The land is sometimes hard for a rancher to talk about because it's part of you. It's just who you are. It's your soul out here. Joe and I, we love this land. We've given our lives to it. Our kids will continue on.
When we come back, we'll wrap up this special edition of Cattlemen to Cattlemen by introducing you to the 2024 national winner of the Environmental Stewardship Award. Stay with us.
Grazing and pasture management is really the critical first step in our cow-calf operation. Without good quality pastures, good quality forage, it'd be really tough to make it with a cow-calf operation.
Join the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. NCBA is the oldest and largest national cattle industry organization working to defend your interests in Washington, D.C. And there are big benefits to being a member. You'll get news you can use in the National Cattlemen, email updates in the NCBA Beef Bulletin, plus big discounts only for NCBA members. Join by calling 866-233-3872 or online at ncba.org.
Each year, in addition to the 7 regional winners of the Environmental Stewardship Award, one of the operations is also named the national winner. The 2024 winner is Downey Ranch of Kansas. And joining me today are Barb Downey and Joe Carpenter. Well, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
I've got to ask you, Barb, what was going through your mind when you heard your name called?
Oh, you're up front and the lights are on you and you're sitting with this tremendous group of people, and when they called the name, it was truly one of those rug pulled out from under you, the goosebumps started, and we were just so thrilled,
And Joe, I mean, the other 6 are such capable, qualified candidates. What does it mean to you to be named the national winner from this group of competitors?
Well, we consider it a tremendous honor. I mean, because they are such professionals and fantastic stewards of the land. And it's just a validation of everything that we do, is done by most of these people and producers nationwide. So it's, for us to get this honor is really special.
Well, I have to tell you, I was struck in watching your video about the sheer amount of technology you're incorporating to improve the sustainability of your operation. Barb, tell us about that.
I love technology. I'm kind of a technophile. I'm always looking for a way to do what we do better, a little easier, and with less labor and effort. So a couple of the technologies that we're excited about and are currently deploying. One is a virtual fencing collar that is solar powered. It's going to enable us to do an even more intensively rotational grazing process, to utilize that grass better and do better by both the cattle and our resources. The second technology we're using is a Bluetooth-enabled ear tag that we use for inventory management is the big one. So Joe and I are bringing 200 pairs through a gate. I would challenge anyone to count them, let alone know who might be missing. So I know after I get that all on my phone, I know who came through, and more importantly, I know who's missing. In addition, those tags that we put on our bulls, they have pedometers and accelerometers, and we know if a bull has been injured and he's hiding down at the bottom of the draw, I know virtually instantly that there is a problem with that bull, and we need to go check up on him and possibly treat him. So it's made our day-to-day job easier and better.
That's fantastic. Well, I've got to ask you, Joe, what does the future hold for Downey Ranch?
Well, who knows? I mean, our goal is to be learning all the time, and with the technology changing like it is, we've got to keep abreast of what's going on there. And from a soil health standpoint and a grazing management, we're learning about that constantly also. So we just keep doing what we're doing and keep moving forward.
What would you add, Barb?
We really work actively at doing what we do a little bit better every day. Again, these events help us learn new things. We run into people doing new and better things, and nothing that we do on our ranch is original. It's all things we've learned from our colleagues in this business, and we're just excited to bring it all together on our ranch.
Well, from all of us, congratulations on the great work you do, and I encourage you to continue sharing this fantastic story.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're wrapping up with legacy photos, and we've got some beautiful images from the award-winning operations we highlighted in this episode. Let's have a look. Now, you might be wondering, how does someone win an Environmental Stewardship Award? Any organization or individual can nominate a beef producer for the honor. A committee of experts from in and outside the cattle industry evaluates each nominee and picks a winner from each NCBA region. The selection committee looks for both sound conservation practices and the ability to serve as spokespersons for the industry. You can download a copy of the nomination packet at environmentalstewardship.org. So there you have it, a look at some of the regional winners of the Environmental Stewardship Award for 2024. We salute and thank all the winners, the sponsors, and everyone involved who has helped make the Environmental Stewardship Award program a success for more than 3 decades. That's our time for this special edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen. Thanks again for joining us. We'll see you next week right here on RFD TV.